Marc Raimondi back with you for ESPN with look at this guy here. It's Triple C, the king of cringe, of course, the UFC former double champion flyweight bantamweight title holder Henry Cejudo. And Henry, it's been a little while. Hopefully you're okay over there. It's been a little while. There's actually a lot to ask you about now that you're coming back. You're back in the USADA pool. You're going to be fighting again, maybe even by the end of the year. But first, how are things? I saw you briefly at UFC 276 a few weeks ago. How are things going?
Things are good. Things are good, Mark. I'm back in it. The drive's back. Training every single day. It's like man, I just needed a break so bad, man. From competing since age 11, 12 to age 33 nonstop, and I just feel like these last 2.5 years, or going to 2.5 years, have really been an eye opener for me. Like I completely view the sport of mixed martial arts completely different than once I did. Working with the likes of Jon Jones, Demetrious Johnson, Deiveson Figueiredo, Zhang Wei Li. I mean, the list goes on. Chris Cyborg. I mean, you know what I mean? I just feel like I'm so much smarter and my body's so much healthier. Like I feel good. I feel good, Mark. So that's how I'm feeling.
So you're training every day, but it's not a training camp yet, right?
No, it's not a training camp. No, I'm kind of touching up my fundamentals like I've always have. My body too. Like I'm doing a lot of therapeutical type workouts to really strengthen all my limbs, my neck, my back. So I'm being extremely strategic. So whenever it is that I do return, that I'm just firing at all cylinders.
And I believe you entered back into the USADA pool back in April, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I've already been tested 3 times. I've already been tested. Like the first month, I believe, they tested me a few times already. So it's been they've been knocking on my door a little too much actually.
when is the date that you're actually allowed to fight again?
My date would be in October, but obviously, like I'm not. There's a lot of options for me. Well, there is, but obviously, I'm after gold, Mark. Nobody beat me. I left. I relinquished my belt. I did all that. I was never stripped. And I did it like a man, dude. I says, hey, I'm out. I'm done. Everybody else fight for it, and I'm here to make history, Mark.
So I'd imagine that you're targeting 135 or 145.
I'm targeting 145, man. Like at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm going down 135 pounds, I'm gonna beat these dudes, is to eventually go up and become the first three division champion in UFC history. That's the only reason why I'm even going down to 135 pounds. These dudes are not at my level. None of those dudes are at my level, and they all know it. So if I have to go down to 135 pounds with my belt to challenge Alexander Volkanovski, then that's what I have to do. But my end goal, Mark, as the Olympic champ, as the flyweight champ, and as the bantamweight champion of the world, is to conquer what's never been conquered, and that's to retain and claim that 145-pound belt and bring it back home to America.
So bantamweight, you think will be your first fight back? Is that pretty fair to say?
Honestly, I'm still hopeful that this Volkanovski fight is able to take place, especially what happened with Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega. Obviously Yair did win because the pop into the socket, but I'm not sure what the UFC is thinking, where they want to give this fight to Josh Emmett or Yair Rodriguez. But my overall goal, Mark, and we saw it. You saw it on the thrill. You guys saw it on my Instagram and on social media. The mutual respect that me and Volkanovski have. He's only about an inch and a half taller than me. We're almost literally eye to eye. And this is your 145-pound, champion. The cool thing about my fight, man, it's the unknown. It's my speed, my experience, the fact that I've been able to conquer, become world champion in two different sports, three different weight classes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just feel like I'm the person to fight this dude in Australia and to really sell that fight. With all due respect to all the 145-pound contenders, nobody will give this dude the trouble. Nobody will be able to sell this fight like I would. And I truly do believe that I could beat him. Like I would never take a fight that I don't think that I could win. Volkanovski is an inch and a half, 2 inches taller than me. I think it just suits me perfect. Yeah, he's been dominating in certain fashions, but Nobody's tactical like me. I'm gonna fight this dude accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I'm a technical savage. I'm not afraid of this dude. His whole game is based on distance. Nobody's really recognizing it. He'll set traps. The reason why he has good time is because he has a good sense of range, understanding his distance. So he's either throwing hands or he's kicking, but he's planning certain things. And I just believe my speed and the fact that I'm a little smaller than him is really going to complicate things. So if Hunter, Dana White, if you guys are watching this, you guys saw the videos. You guys saw the mutual respect. I think if there's one fight that Volkanovski was like, hey man, this is the fight that's the unknown. It's me.
From what happened with Rodriguez and Ortega a few days ago, that now the UFC might move into a situation where they do the interim title because Volkanovski's going to be out with the thumb injury. He's going to have surgery. So
well, tell him to stop sitting on his thumb then, Marc. What's wrong with them?
They might do, it sounds like, the interim title, Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Where does Henry Cejudo fit in that case? If that's what happens.
If that's what happens, then I'm gonna wait for my title shot at 135. I have no other choice. But my number one option and my number one choice, if you guys want somebody that's gonna sell this fight and really put butts in the seats, it's Triple C versus Alexander Volkanovski. People don't like me, dude. I'm probably second behind Kobe Covington. If not, I'm probably number one. The most hated, the most annoying, the most obnoxious. But I just want to make history, Marc. That's all there is to it. And you saw the respect. I respect this man. I respect his IQ. I know he respects mine too. But at the same time, I don't think he sees me where he should see me. Or maybe he does. But this is why I want to test myself with this dude. This is why I want to show and prove to myself and prove to the world that dude, I could become the first 3-division champ in UFC history.
So if it has to be 135, it would need to be a title shot. Is that what you're saying? Aljamain Sterling, of course, is defending, coming up against TJ Dillashaw, a guy that you own a win over.
Yeah, because because George St. Pierre, he never came back and got a tune-up fight. He never did that, unless it's maybe Sean O'Smelly, Sean O'Selty, but the UFC is not ready for him to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? It took him 5 days. It took Sean O'Malley 5 days to reply to me after I freaking crashed his interview. It took him 5 days to really think about it, and he even tagged my actual name. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing those games. I'll hurt that dude, and I don't think the UFC is willing to do that. And if I do end up fighting Sean O'Malley, I would like to make money off of him, win the belt, and maybe call his ass out. But he'd be stupid to fight me. And I don't think Dana or any of his team is going to recommend him that fight, because there's one thing with Sean O'Malley that he doesn't have. He doesn't have grit. He will break. And I've seen it. And he'll look up at the clock, and with a killer like me, a guy experienced like me, man, I will eat that dude alive. And I would like to have those virgin boys in front row to witness it, because they absolutely suck too.
Did you I wanted to ask you, so is that a real beef with you and O'Malley, because you guys live in the same city?
It is. I mean, I actually don't mind O'Malley. I really don't, man. To me, this is all about making money. And if I have to behead him to get a little more respect and to kind of upgrade my status, then that's what I have to do. But to me, it's all business. He can hate me for all they want. Everybody who's ever that doesn't like me, they all wanted to hit me. All of them. From Dominic Cruz to TJ Dillashaw to Marlon Moraes. Just because you want to hit me doesn't mean you can beat me. And that's the difference, because once you're in there with me, you're going to know that I don't mess around. The cringe, the persona, everything's out the window. And I'm going to go and I'm literally going to kill you. I'm going to stop you, because I'm not trying to go with the cinches no more. To me, it's not about just winning. To me, it's about freaking, stomping these dudes and taking their damn souls. So whether it's Sean O'Malley, Alexander the Average, or Aljamain, they can all get it.
What would you say you learned from coaching some of those, championship fighters, the Jon Joneses, the Deiveson Figueiredos, the Chris Cybors, the Zhang Weili's?
Yeah, my ability. You know what I'm saying? How gifted I am with my ability, and how much I can pick up from them too. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start seeing these guys who have had multiple title defense, you're like, man, I recognize things from them, but also for me that I can tweak that much better. You see what I'm saying? And they're all special humans, and I've been able to kind of learn that special sauce. And at the end of the day, Mark, like, I'm respected, dude. These dudes would not come to me. Yeah, I may be hated by the casuals, you know, those Sean O'Malley fans, but at the end of the day, dude, by the legends, I'm respected. People come up to me for advice. I'm almost like the MMA whisperer. You know what I mean? I'm like the godfather of mixed martial arts, because the best of the best, the cream of the crop comes and you know, wants help or taught or, you know, wants consulting from Triple C.
Do you think we'll see you in the cage before the end of the year?
I hope so. I hope so. But I'm really not in a hurry. I'm really not in a hurry, Mark, because I'm at the same time, dude. Obviously I do got a baby, and I got a lot of things going on, and I'm really taking my time with this game. So if it is, I will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, because I'm that ready. I'm that prepared. I'm that methodical with my training. But who I really want, Mark, is Volkanovski, because I respect him, because I respect what he's doing to people, and I recognize what he's doing to people, and I believe a good game plan, good tactics will beat that man. So I ask you again. I know, Dana. I know I talked a lot to you. I know I talked a lot of stuff, calling you Dana Bald, Dana Aldo, all these crazy names. But boss, I respect you, and I understand what you've done for the UFC and the sport of mixed martial arts. I've only wanted attention, man, for situations like this, to fight and make history. And you've always said it, Dana, that I will never stop anybody from making history. Well, here he is right here, man. The first Olympic champ to become a UFC champ, the first double champ and Olympic champ. And now I want to go out there and cement my legacy and become the first 3-division champ in UFC history.
Do you have any regrets about how maybe you handled the initial retirement announcement and that whole?
No, not really, because I did what I did. You know, I had a baby, maybe not with the girl that I had mentioned, but I had a baby. You know, I found, you know, the love of my life, and I needed a break from the sport. I really did, man. Like, I was just like, the persona and everything. I didn't feel like I was being rewarded, and I knew that none of these dudes were gonna be a challenge for me. And I was just like, you know what? They probably won't give me Volkanovski at that time for whatever reason. So I'm just saying, like, you know what? I need a break. I'm just gonna go out to the sunset. So the retirement was actually serious. You know what I mean? Like, it was when you have reached the pinnacle of of two sports, especially in wrestling. I probably have over 1,000 wrestling matches, Mark. Like, literally 1,000. And I've been able to compete since I was a kid, from folk style, freestyle to Greco-Roman. You know, it's like, I love to compete in other things too. And these last 2.5 years have been the best years of my life. Like, I'm not coming back because I need money, because real estate is going very, very well. You know, I bought 8, 9 lots. I'm just finishing up a duplex now that's worth over $1 million. Like, to me, it's more that spirit of competition, to prove to myself, man, how good am I? And this is why I see my counterpart in Alexander Volkanovski. And this is the same reason why I want him. So if I on people, if I talked a lot of stuff, it's just a simple fact that I just want to be the best, Mark.
Does that mean we've seen the end of the King of Cringe?
No, because I've noticed that the cringe and all that, like, it's added pressure to me, and that's what drives me. I'm not your typical fighter. Like, I need, and part of the character, it is me. It is me, Mark. But I'm just, as Uncle Chow says, you elevate it, you turn it up. You turn it up about 10 notches. So it's real, man. And the thing is, I walk my talk. I ain't McGregor. I ain't McTapper. This is the guy that's getting rid of people. And I've been able to do extraordinary things in sports, and this is why I asked for the opportunity.
Who do you think wins between Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw?
Man, I would like for Aljamain to win. I just don't know if Aljamain really has that IQ. You know, he seems about as dumb as a bag of rocks. So yeah. I don't know. I don't want TJ Dillashaw to win either, but that might be a fun one too, because I'll put him to sleep again.
I mean, arguably that's better for you, right? In some ways, if Dillashaw wins, because you own that win over him.
Yeah, but you know what? It's dirty to fight a dude like that. Like, I've never saw him after that fight, and the dude was literally, wanted to harm me by taking steroids and stuff like that. He's just a dirty bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me feel nasty to know that this dude could potentially retain the UFC belt again. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Aljamain is the guy to freaking get the job done. unfortunately.
I've seen some videos and photos of you working with Demetrious Johnson, your former foe, your former rival. Of course, the longtime former UFC flyweight champion. How did that all start? How did you guys get in touch and start training together?
Because real recognizes real, Mark. Because I'm not, you guys see the cringe, and I gotta sell that to you, all you sorry casuals and all you publics, so you guys can watch me fight. But the guys that are real, they understand the techniques, the tactics, how I understand the experience that I bring to the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out there just, having crap hit the wall. Like, I know what I'm doing. So he contacted me through Will Harris, and then we got on the phone, and that same day he was in Arizona, and I invited over to my house. I'm like, listen, man, if you're serious about training with me, look, I want to show you the plan. This is how I do things. He came over. We went over like the game plans and how I think he should fight Adriano Moraes, and he nodded, and we got together. He just left back home to Washington, but we're together for a good 2 weeks, just dissecting and learning from each other. And I think Demetrious Johnson would tell you, man, like I'm not what people think.
What was that like working with him for 2 weeks? Because I guess that's part of his training camp, right, for the Moraes fight coming up.
Yeah, I can see why he stopped me, Mark. I can see why he stopped me with knees that first fight. I was probably trying to chew more than what I could actually eat. And I remember Daniel kind of telling me this, like when he first fought Jones, he was like, yeah, I just wasn't ready. Like I needed a little more time, as good as we are in wrestling. And I'm just like, damn, Daniel, that was very humble enough for him to say that. This is a while ago. This is before he fought him the second time. And I'm just like, damn, it's a tough pill to swallow, because we come from like the most dominant sport like in the world. But it made sense. And then getting a chance to go with him now, I'm just like, man, this dude he's sneaky with his knees. And I'm just like, it wasn't an accident that he got me, because sometimes we try to portray or think. And it's like, no, the dude is just that good.
You, of course, trained Deiveson Figueiredo, who won back the UFC flyweight title a few months ago. There's going to be the interim title now. It's going to be your former friend, your former protege, Brandon Moreno, against
Actually,
Kai
both of them. Both of them. I helped coach
right.
both of them. I was training partners for both of them.
Yeah, Kai Car-France, Team Cejudo on The Ultimate Fighter.
But
How do you see that one playing out?
I hope they both knock each other out. Two right hands, and they both go down, and that's it. Now, this is a good fight, man. I'm actually pulling for Kai Car-France. I really am. Just for the simple fact that I throughout the years I've been able to develop a thing, and I just don't think me and Brandon really just planned out. But I also think, Mark, that it worked out for the better. You know what I mean? And out of the tough 24, like I really had like the closest guy that I was probably with was two guys, Alexander Pantoja and Kai Car-France, and I really like Kai. Yeah, I still do to this day, and we kept in contact. He's always been super cool with me, and I just never really had that chemistry with Brandon ever since he went and trained with Joe Benavidez, when I fought him. So I'm cheering for him, but I think the biggest thing that the biggest threat that he brings is you can't get into his fight zone with boxing, and if he takes your back, you almost have to let him win that round, because the more you fight him in that back, because he's taking my back before in training. I know how good he is. Trying to get out is just not the option. You lost a round. So if these were advices that I would give Kai Car-France, is master the distance. Brandon Moreno's he's a counter puncher, actually, because as you get closer, he'll start firing, but he throws a little too much. And I'd say master the distance and have good defense, because he's gonna try to take Kai down. So I think those are the biggest thing for Kai, is to keep it on his feet.
Who wins that fight, you think?
I'm hoping for Kai, man, but the experience that Brandon has, like, you can't deny him either. So I'm also got, you know what I mean? So I think I'm going for Kai, but I think more the leverage through experience and all that. And they fought before, and I felt like Brandon really controlled Kai. I'm still kind of leaning a little more towards Brandon, but I'm cheering for that Kiwi.
Will Figueiredo be with you guys in Arizona for that fight? Obviously, he'll fight the winner of that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Deiveson. I don't know to what extent, but I know he wants to be home. He's he wants to be with his family. His family can't come over to America, and that's like the biggest thing with him. You know, he's a good father. He's a good human, man. I have a really close relationship with Deiveson that I would hate to punch him in the face. But I think the option is, I know he wants to do his fight camp in Arizona, but that's still the unknown.
You think he'll go to 135 or stay at 125?
I think he's big. I think he'll eventually finish his career at 135, and I welcome that. I think he's a big 25er. I just think he just needs to become a little more disciplined with his diet, especially when he's not competing, not fighting, because he is the biggest 25-pounder in the UFC right now, and he happens to be the champion.
All right, we can wrap it up here. I just want to go over kind of like the summary. So basically what you're saying, Henry, is that ideal scenario, it's you and Volkanovski for the 145-pound title. You got a chance to go for a third UFC belt, right?
Who else would sell it, Marc? Who else would sell it in Australia, man? Who else would do that? It's me.
And if it's not that, you're willing to go to 135 for like a big fight. Is that what you would say? Is that fair?
Yeah, of course. Sean would be crazy to fight me, so he doesn't want this damn smoke. I think he needs to fight that Ricky Simone guy, and if he can beat him, maybe we'll talk. But the UFC ain't ready for him to die. So yeah, I'm after gold, man, and gold is what I want. I'm a gold digger, and that's what I want.
Awesome, Henry. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything. I'm sure we'll be talking with you before your eventual comeback fight happens. Yeah,
of course. And I actually wanted to say a couple of things too, Marc, because you're gonna think I'm a bit crazy, man. I wanted to. I had a crazy dream, man. I had a crazy dream with Stylebender maybe about a few days ago, and it was almost like.
Is this gonna be suitable for Disney or?
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay,
it is. There ain't no. It was crazy because if Stylebender was my actual friend, and if he's winning, then I would be like, you know what? It doesn't matter because you're winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude is still winning. It may be boring, but he's still winning. And I just felt like in my dream, I felt like I was just being a little hater. And it just felt real because I felt like I had like a one-on-one conversation with him. It was a trip. And I actually woke up from it. It was almost like he was like super angry with me. He wanted to hit me. And I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, words do cut. So, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes things happen for a reason. And I just want to say I apologize to him because I think I talked a little too much on, Stylebender, even though he's beat up a bunch of my friends. But that has nothing to do with him. You know? I want to wish him luck. And I think he's going to have a great fight with Pereira. And that's it, man. Winners win, and I cannot hate on that, dude. Because if he already has 4 or 5, defenses, he's doing something right. Even if I don't think he's as good as he thinks he is. So I just want to extend.
So what was the dream? What was the dream?
That was a dream. It's almost like he almost wanted like to punch me and like hit me, and I'm just like over here like telling him, I was like, damn, man, my words really cut you. But it felt super. It felt super real. You know what I mean? Because he was like in tears. Because it's almost like you can tell he like respected me in the dream at least, and you can tell he's just like, man, I'm gonna hit you. And I'm over here just conversating with them, just like, damn. The moral of the story is like, he's winning, man. He's winning, and if he's winning, like I shouldn't be saying anything because winning is winning. So as much stuff that I did talk about him coming out to the Undertaker, not performing, and things of that nature. Man, he's a winner. He's a winner, and a man like me is willing to swallow that pill and say like, "Hey, man, best of luck. My apologies, because sometimes I don't feel good. You know what I'm saying, Marc? And I just want to wish him the best.
Your subconscious came to you in a dream and said maybe you were going a little bit too hard on Adesanya.
Yeah, probably. So I just wanted to, I respect Stylebender and his team and what his coaches have done. It's the same reason why I want to fight Alexander. And that's it. I think if we can get him, Alex, and whomever in that same card, man, get me in.
Thank you, Henry. I appreciate it.
Of course, Marc. See you guys.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.